Hello, Mr. Jones. So we have just completed your evaluation on your back, and so I just want to kind of go over some of the things that we found. Um, with back pain that you've been having for a while, a lot of times people think it's because of one specific thing that they've done. Oh, I was bending over and I picked this up. Oh, I was working on a client, and when I turned to do something, I hurt my back. But a lot of times, it's not one particular thing, but the small repetitive movements that we do throughout the day. Okay, so as we do different amounts of rotation or extension or flexion, and you might be saying, well, what does she mean when she says flexion and extension? I'm just meaning the day to day bending and moving and squatting that we do. When they are less than ideal, they can cause to have wear and tear on the back. Okay, so I like to relate that to an automobile. When we're keeping up with the maintenance and making sure it's in alignment, the wear on the tires is evenly distributed, and over time, you're able to use that car without difficulty, at least minimal issues that would come. And so, same thing with our spine. When it's in good alignment and when we do movement that's in good alignment, it helps us to prevent future problems. When we move with less than ideal alignment, that's when we can have impairments that occur. And our body, it likes to take the path of least resistance. So if our hips are stiff, if our upper back is stiff, if we still need to do these movements as a part of our day, our body will find the area where it can occur. And in your case, it's the low part of your back. So when you're working with your clients, when you're doing activities at home, your low back is repetitively moving in different areas that is starting to produce the symptoms that you came in for. So when we did your objective examination, what I found was that the movements of extension and movements of rotation were most symptomatic to you. So when I had you to reach overhead, when I had you to lay down and perform different movements, your back would extend, movements with your limb that when your trunk muscles are supporting your spine, it wouldn't normally do. And those were also in conjunction with the symptoms that you came in for. So when you read that I gave you a physical therapy diagnosis of extension rotation, what that means is when you do those particular motions throughout the day, those are contributing to the pain that you have. Okay, so does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, do you have any questions for me?
It sounds pretty thorough.
Okay. Okay. So I want to make sure you understood that, and then you could see for yourself when we did one exercise, one movement, you saw that it hurt, and then when I asked you how to stabilize, which means just how to get those trunk muscles working, how the pain was less. And so I'm going to use one of the examples that you gave me. You let me know when you are putting up dishes overhead at night, how that sometimes bothers your back. And so that's another example of, even though you're doing arm activity, if your joints up here are stiffer than your back, and your back doing that repetitive movement throughout the day, even though you're using your arms when you reach up, your back can extend. So your trunk muscles, what we want to do is to make sure that they are engaging, which means that they're just working when you do these activities. So I'm going to show you an exercise that I think will be helpful, but the same exercise will go directly toward you being able to do that activity at home. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate, and then I have a copy here. So you can see on the copy here, I have the name of the exercise that we're doing, and then down here it gives a written explanation of the exercises that we're doing, as well as they have pictures right here that gives you a step-by-step of what you're doing. Okay, so then that way you can read it at your leisure. You can also go by the pictures, so even if you're like, I don't feel like going through all of that, these pictures should be able to guide you through the exercise, as well as I'm getting ready to model, so that way you can have a visual input of how to do it, and then I'm going to have you to do it right after I do it, so that way I can see that you understand what exercise that we've just done. Okay,
Yes.
that makes sense. Okay, so what we're going to do is first I'm going to come over to the wall, Okay, and I'm gonna come maybe about 6 inches from the wall, my feet here. Okay, and then I'm gonna rest my arms on the wall. Okay, I'm gonna tighten my trunk muscles, and how I'm gonna do this is just by pulling my belly button in. So kind of think about like there's a string on your belly button that goes from your belly button to your back. And so you're gonna pull that string towards your back, and that tightens your trunk muscles to make sure it protects your back when you're doing this movement. Okay. From here, you're going to slide your arms up the wall, and then you're going to take a step back. Okay, keeping your abdominals, which is your tummy muscles, engaged as you raise your arms overhead. Okay. So this is an exercise that you can do as long as it's symptom minimal. Okay. And can you see how that can also relate to when you're bringing the dishes up overhead? Okay.
Yes.
So this is teaching you how to engage those muscles. And then you can also take the same movement and apply it to one of the places that you say that you're having pain. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you come on over with me?
Sure.
And I want you to come here. Okay. So first, I want you to just go ahead and do what you think I just said, and then I will add a correction as needed. Good, and go ahead and slide back down. All right, pretty good. This time what I'd like you to do is bring your feet a little bit closer in. So go ahead and step up closer to the wall. There you go. This time, as you slide your arms up, I want you to take a small step forward, sliding up, and then slide back down. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Good. And then slide back down. Good. Now, I'm going to put my hand on your back so that way I can make sure that your back isn't moving. Okay, go ahead and take a step forward. Good. Tighten that tummy. Slide your arms up. Good. And come back. Sliding back down. All right. Do you have any symptoms, any pain in your back doing this exercise?
It seems to be okay right now.
Seems to be okay. Okay. If you should feel it a little bit, all you need to do is just to tighten here a little bit more. So go ahead and pull your abdominals in. Imagine that string's on that belly button, pulling it back to your spine. Good. Go ahead and step forward. Slide up. Good. And come back. Slide back down. All right. It's very nice. So what I'd like for you to do is maybe 3 to 5 times is as a minimum. Now, if this feels good, if it makes your back feel better, then you can do this often throughout the day. Especially if while you're at work, your back starts to bother you. You can take a few minutes and do this. I like this exercise because usually wherever you're at, there's some kind of wall space. Even if you have to go to the restroom, you can use it at the door to wall, but it's something you can do throughout the day if that's helpful. Okay? So come back over. Let's have a seat. Okay. So now I've done a good amount of the talking. So I just want to have you tell me. So at the beginning, I kind of talked about your back and why it may be hurting and some of the movements and things that may be contributing to it. Can you tell me what you heard me say about your back? Just say whatever you think, and then I will come back and then correct that.
I think I heard that it's important to tighten your stomach muscles up as you go through your movements and your exercise. And if you feel a strain, then just tighten your stomach muscles up more. And that I should do this particular exercise 3 to 5 times, and then do it, and then do it regularly through the course of the day.
All right.
When I feel a strain.
All right, pretty good. Only other thing that I want to reemphasize, so that way you can kind of understand why we're doing this, is that the movements that we do throughout the day affect our back pain. And so if we can see throughout the day as many ways as we can control the excessive movement that's occurring in the back, then we can start to reduce your symptoms and hopefully prevent it. So what I would like for you to as well as doing these exercises, be able to take from this session is that you can control your symptoms by controlling how your back moves or does not move throughout the day. So, to be able to look at the activities that you do, which ones cause you symptoms, and how I can modify that movement. Now, next time you come in, we're going to go back through this. So if you don't remember, that's fine. So I gave you this exercise with the demonstrations, but I also have on the next page the information that we went over today about the importance of using your trunk muscles in protecting your back. And so we'll go back through this so then that way I can see that you understand what we're doing, what the purpose of your coming for therapy is. And then if it's helping, because if it's not, then we need to address it early so then that way we can modify the plan to make sure you're getting your best care. Okay, does that make sense?
Sure does.
Okay, well, if you have any other questions, feel free to stop by. You can call me, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if not, we'll meet up again at our next session and hit at it right at the top.
Sounds fine.
All right, well, thank you, Mr. Jones, for your time.
Thank you very much. Been very helpful.
Yeah.